Howdy, Lawman Mike with www.lawmanguitars.com. Boy, have I got a bunch of really cool guitars for you this month. Let's start with this one. What we've got is a 1928 Stromberg-Voisinet. Now, this guitar is very, very rare. We found it in a guitar shop that closed here in Des Moines, and it had been hanging in the shop forever, and it was totally unplayable. So let me start right off by saying there's a whole bunch of things that we had to do to get it back to where it should be, and that is playable. So it's a very, very cool looking guitar. Of course, it's got the Hawaiian Scene on it. It's got the mother of toilet seat pickguard on it. It's got the mother of toilet seat fretboard on it. Original tuners, and what's really cool is it looks like it's an open headstock here, but as you look at the back, it's closed. So it's actually a scalloped headstock as opposed to all the way through, which is kind of an odd thing that, that Stromberg did back then. Now Stromberg, they were in Chicago like Regal and Harmony and all the guys who were making guitars back in the day. And this guitar is very, very reminiscent of the Harmonies and Regals that they were building back then. They all kind of looked a lot alike. If it wasn't for the headstock shape, we probably wouldn't have been able to figure out what it was anyway. Clearly a Stromberg. Now these tuners, actually the Bakelite buttons are in very good shape. I noticed when I was tuning it today, the G button is just a little bit loose. We may try to put just a little drop of super glue in there to help hold that, keep it steady, but they're not in any deteriorating shape. Some of the ones in 30s and 40s were made of a different plastic and they would start breaking down. These are not of that, and they should hang in there just as long as those nice, beautiful tuners do. It's got the original bone nut on it. It's got the original frets on it, as well as the original fret markers, which look like those are, those look like oysters. My goodness, those are just beautiful. But there again, it's got this beautiful painted, it's not wood. It looks like it's painted in the finish of this piece along the top here. And it's just, gosh, it's just beautiful, beautiful workmanship. Just one little corner I just noticed as I was pulling around here of the pickguard is up. Now, the other thing that we had to do, you'll notice that the bridge on this guitar looks amazingly new. That's because it is. When we got the guitar, the bridge was totally ruined. I mean, it was all gnarly, and there was like 2 strings hanging on just to keep it on there. What we did is our tech here in Des Moines has worked on several of these guitars, and he says, Mike, he says, I have the shape of what the Stromberg tailpieces are supposed to look like. Let me make you a new one instead of trying to buy something that won't look correct. He said, let me make the correct look. So that's what he did. He built this beautiful bridge, and it looks just like all the pictures we've seen of the other Strombergs. And so this is a new bridge replacing the one that was just totally shot. Now from there, it's all, the braces are very solid in here. Of course, the bridge is on here very tightly. He did a neck reset on it, and I think we had to replace one little piece of binding that was missing, and I can't even tell which one he replaced now because he did such a beautiful job. But the guitar looks just absolutely marvelous. It's got sort of a V shape to the back of the neck. It's probably more of a D than a C shape. It feels wider to me, or deeper. And it is actually wider. It's a 1 3/4 inch nut as opposed to what we're used to feeling in 1 5/8 or 1 11/16. So it's a little bit wider, which you finger pickers are absolutely going to love. But it's a little bit wider for my hands. Okay, I definitely noticed playing this guitar that it's a little bit big for me. I'm used to a C shape and a little bit smaller nut. So big-handed guys, you're going to like this one. Now, it's got a 24.5 inch scale neck, a 13.5 inch wide body, so I would call it a Parlor size guitar. I believe the back and sides, if I recall, are mahogany from what we determined, and the top is spruce. Now again, the scene on here is just absolutely beautiful, and it's crazing. So my understanding is these are hand painted on here. Now I don't know if they put something over it or what, but it looks like there's something over the edge that's clear. So I don't know if that's part of the painting, or I don't believe they use decals. You can see some of it coming apart here where the picks have gotten to it. So hand-painted top is what I would call it. And of course it's got some binding on the sound hole. And that's about it. We determined it was in 1938 just because we found some others like it. I'm sorry, 1928. We found some others like it, so we're calling it a 1928. Now, the neck reset is very, very good. You can certainly play bar chords up and down the neck. However, you're not going to be playing any shredding on this guitar, okay? I want you to manage your expectations for this guitar. These guitars were designed to play much stiffer than what we're used to in guitars today, so bear that in mind. The distance up here looks like it's about 1/8 of an inch, I would give it, and so it's not the lowest action neck reset we've ever had, but we've set it as low as we possibly can and still make this guitar play properly. You have to maintain certain angles as you go over your nut in your saddle, so we couldn't lower it anymore. So that being said, it's just a beautiful guitar. If you've been looking for one of these, it's a great, great example, and it plays and sounds really nicely. We put, what did we put on here? I think we put 11s on it. We didn't want to put too heavy a string. They probably used 13s back in the day, which is why the neck was pulling up off the guitar. I like to put a little lighter gauge string on them simply because more of my customers are going to feel it'll feel more comfortable to them when they get the guitar. You can always go up in gauge. I wouldn't go up to a 13. You may want to take it to a 12. I certainly wouldn't go any less than 11s that's on it. But from there, I mean, the guitar just sounds great. Take me a while to get used to this bigger neck, that's for sure. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. Really happy to have this one, and even better, I looked at this guitar for years and years and years here in this shop that closed here in town. And those of you who remember Crazy Horse guitars, this was one of the ones that hung in his shop. So those of you here in Des Moines that know of Crazy Horse that closed, this is one of the guitars that came from there. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. Now, I have an original case that fits it just beautifully. This is a case that would come with that guitar. Of course, it didn't come with the guitar. This is one that we had that fits it absolutely perfectly. This is one of the cases that have the alligator top to it, leather handle. You know, I try to have these around for these guitars, and this one is in absolutely gorgeous shape. All the latches are on here. You know, the hinges are on. Well, even the hinge, the hinges on this one. Talk about age correct. They are leather hinges. So this one is actually one of the older ones we have had. The beautiful purple interior, it's been worn off on the top of the case, but you could see here in the bottom, this is what you want to see in these old cases, is this royal purple interior. The accessory box lid is gone, but the accessory box is here. No real damage that I can see. There's, you know, a little deterioration in the end from jamming the guitar in there, but other than that, the case is in really remarkable shape. So I'm sending this case with that awesome 1928 Stromberg-Voisinet guitar. It plays very, very nicely. It sounds wonderful. Nice big wide neck for those of you who like to finger pick. I think you'll enjoy that guitar. Check it and all of our really cool guitars out at www.lawmanguitars.com, and thanks a lot for watching my videos.